Welcome to College Mentors for Kids at Illinois State University. Today we're taking a tour of the Normal Fire Department.
Sure. Matt Swaney, I'm a fire inspector and the public information officer for the fire department. Been here about 11 years. Love my job, love everything I do. It's a great place to work. It's a very rewarding career, and if anybody's ever looking to get into public safety, the fire department's the way to go. It's just being able to help people every day, and it's just a wonderful place to work. I love it.
Well, great. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, no problem. So this is our main lobby of our headquarters fire station. It's from 2017 roughly is when we started moving into this building. It's 25,000 square feet. And it cost about $9 million to build. It's located on Main Street, right across from Buffalo Wild Wings. And this station serves most of ISU's campus and the western half of Normal, as well as up North Main Street. It's the busiest of our 3 fire stations, and it's part of a relocation plan for all of our stations to relocate over the next few years so that we're in better spots to serve and be faster to respond to emergencies wherever we occur in town. So this is the lobby. Back this way we have a training room. This is where we host trainings and where our firefighters train. It's also used for conferences, and we can do events in here. Holds about 100 people, but for right now, for social distancing, it's hosting very little. So we're trying to keep things as closed as possible, because we come in contact with people that could be sick every single day, and we don't want to get somebody else sick or risk them getting us sick, because if we're sick, then obviously we can't take care of the people. So training room, main lobby, and then through this way is our administrative offices and prevention. This is a concrete statue of Pyro. She was our fire dog back in the 70s, and so the guys wanted to have a tribute to her. Since we don't have a real dog, we have a concrete one right now. So if you'd like to come this way, we'll come down the administrative office. This is our front desk. This is one of our CAD monitors. What this does is it shows us who's on duty today. It shows us the front door. It shows us any announcements we have. It shows us a weather radar. But if we get a call, the screen gets replaced with all the call information, the address, the nature of what's going on, and which units are assigned, as well as a map showing us where to go to respond. Wow, it's pretty cool. Little kitchen for administration. The assistant chief's offices are here. The fire chief is here. We have a conference room here. We have a couple of additional offices that'll get filled eventually, but right now they're extra. This is our prevention division. This is where I work out of. We do plan reviews for all the construction projects and remodeling projects in town to make sure they're built to code and that everything's done correctly. And then we also do inspections of all the properties in town as well to make sure that they stay in code once they're built. So if you want to come down this way.
Okay. So can you briefly run down the different divisions of fire?
Sure. We have administration, which is the chiefs, and we have prevention, which handles all of the plan reviewing and inspections and construction projects and things like that. And then we have our suppression and EMS division, which handles the actual calls for service that run out on the big red trucks and do all the fire stuff. So 3 different divisions. We all work under the same Normal Fire Department, grand scheme, I guess, of everything. So we're all one department, but 3 different divisions. So this is the apparatus bay. This is where the trucks and the apparatus are housed. Our ambulance is out on a call right now, but this is engine 10. This is the primary engine that covers the district for headquarters. They're dispatched by GPS, so whatever unit is closest gets assigned to the call. Our firefighters load up and they head out to wherever they need to go. Everything is dispatched to the computer and also over the air with voice. So all of our rigs have a laptop computer that they can open up and see all the call information. They got their gear ready to go. They're prepped and ready to go. This is also a paramedic engine. And so what that means is this engine carries all the same equipment that an ambulance does, but just without the cot, without the bed. So if we have a medical call and our ambulance is coming from the hospital or from across town, we can send this and provide the same level of care that we would to an ambulance. And while we're waiting for that ambulance to get there with the cot, we can at least start to get that medical intervention done. So we carry a lot more equipment on this one for medical purposes. But that's what all of our new engines will be, is paramedic. We have 2 right now, there will be 3 in the future. So this engine and the one over at our number 3 station are the newest, and they went into service at the beginning of this year. So we'll have these in service for about 20 years before we replace them. We get a lot of good use out of them, and we really take care of them and maintain them properly so that they last that long for us, because they're expensive and they take a lot of planning to build. And so we want to make sure we get everything we can out of them and that they work for us for many, many years.
How many vehicles does the normal fire department have?
So we have 3 frontline engines, and what frontline means is that it's one that has people in the station ready to go, staffed around the door. 1 at each station, and then we have 2 trucks. The one here is tower ladder 10, and it has the big ladder up on the roof with the basket on the front. And then at our number 2 station, we have ladder 12, and it is a straight ladder. It doesn't have the basket on the front, so it's just a straight ladder on the roof. Then we have 3 ambulances that are frontline, and then we also have an extra ambulance that's reserve, and then we have 2 reserve engines. So this engine services a lot of the campus community, which has a lot of high-rise buildings. So these are called high-rise packs. The buildings that are really tall, we don't pull hose all the way up the building in the staircases to get to where the fire might be. There are pipes within the building that we can connect to, so our guys can just take these hoses, put them on their rack, and go connect to those hoses, those hose connections in the stairwells or wherever, so that we don't have to bring 900 feet of hose to get to the top of the building. So we've got a couple of those, and this opens up. And there's some more tools under here for high-rise stuff. There's a high-rise pack with some tools and a RIT bag for if we have a firefighter go down. This gives us all the tools we would need to get him more air, or to help rescue out of the building with ropes and things like that. This big thing everybody always asks, it just takes the exhaust out of the building, so we can run the trucks inside in the wintertime when it's really cold and not have to breathe the exhaust. So it just comes up here and sticks right on the tailpipe, and then as we pull out, it will actually automatically release and stay behind while we pull out. We're going to come around to this side. If you've ever heard of the jaws of life, we carry them here. So these are the jaws. These are spreaders. They'll open like this to pull apart a car or to spread metal out or get somebody out of somewhere. These are big cutters. They're like huge scissors, and they can cut with about, I think, 25,000 pounds of force. So they can pretty much cut through anything. And then back there we have a ram, which is used to push dashboards apart or lift things off of people in a crash, kind of situation where they might need extrication. We need to put holes in the roof for ventilation, or we need to cut somebody out from underneath something. We've got a K12 saw that'll pretty much cut through anything. Air hammer tools. Around here. Just because it's a fire engine doesn't mean we don't have ladders. We still have them, they're just inside the truck. They're not like that one there where it's up on the roof, the big one. So we carry them inside so they stay out of the weather. And then this is the pump and the hoses and everything that connects to the jaws and the spreaders and things like that. So that, we have it right here available. To get water into the engine, we hook these big yellow hoses up to the hydrant. That gets water to the engine. And then we have multiple places on this truck where there's hoses that we can pull off that are pre-connected that allow us to fight fires with the water coming from the hydrants. We have a ladder built into the back of the truck because it's just really tall and they don't want to fall off. This is more tools. We call it cribbing. It's basically wood are rescue jacks and cribbing, and what we use these for is we'll put them, if a car is unstable while it's in a crash, we can put these underneath the car and help stabilize it so that we can work safely. We have more cribbing here, a big fan to help pull smoke out of a building once we're done fighting fires. Yeah, I apologize. You gotta go? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay.
You guys come back anytime, though.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, it's for here.
Rescue 13. Rescue 13, you're needed at 17.
Since we're under COVID restrictions, I can't bring any visitors up to the second floor, but I can come to the second floor and kind of show you what it looks like. This is where the firefighters live and work every day. We've got a dining room table, we have our kitchen. Out here we have a little patio where we can cook out,
Rescue 13, you're going to be responsible.
enjoy nice weather if it's nice out.
This is only.
Everybody always gets really excited because we do actually have a fire pole. When we have to go on a call, we can get on the pole, open the gates, and down we go, and we're right down by the trucks. This is where we kind of relax in the evenings. It looks like a movie theater, but it's really just a living room. Got a TV and some recliners just for us to relax when we're not on a call. And then back this way is a hallway. It goes this way and down around the corner, and it is basically our living quarters. So I'll show you one of the dorms, but they all look the same. So through here, each firefighter has their own little separate bunk area, and they can bring their bedding in from home, computers or whatever, and then we're back in the main hallway. We've got a laundry room, and we've got a workout room. And that's about all that's up here that's a little bit different. So this is the upstairs. This is where the firefighters live at night when they're not on calls. And then downstairs is where we work every day to keep everybody safe. This is where the firefighters that aren't working right now store all of their gear. So they have their gear here, their helmets, and anything else they carry with them during their shift. They keep it here so it's ready. And then when they're on duty, they take their gear out and put it on whatever truck they're working on that day. And then we also have laundry facilities to wash after a fire, to get all the nasty smoke and chemicals and dirt off of our gear so we stay clean. It helps keep us healthy.
So we're back here with Fire Inspector Swaney, and he's going to show us some things we need for in case there's an emergency in the house. So this is our home safety activity. And for this scavenger hunt, we're going to need a flashlight, some type of first aid kit. You're going to find a smoke detector in your house, and create a safety plan for when there's an emergency. So you're going to need to do 4 things for this activity to stay safe in your home during an emergency. And if you could give us a demonstration of how those items would be useful.
Now our flashlights probably look a little different than yours because ours are super strong and super powerful just because we take them into fires and things like that. But a flashlight, good to have. Make sure the batteries work before the power goes out. That way you can see your way through to get your way out of the house, or just to be able to see in your house if it's dark. Ours are obviously large and big and rechargeable, but it can be a small one from Dollar Tree as long as it has batteries and that it works. We just want to make sure they work ahead of time. Another thing, batteries. Speaking of batteries, we talk about this all the time. You're going to see smoke detectors in your house. Now, smoke detectors are typically run with a battery. And this little guy right here, a 9-volt battery, powers this smoke detector. And your smoke alarms may be powered by the house too, but they usually have a battery as a backup in case the power goes out. So what we want everybody to do is to test their smoke detectors and make sure they work. Every smoke detector has a little button on the front, and all you do is push that button and hold it, and you can hear it beeping, and that's how we know that that smoke detector is good. We don't necessarily have to take it off the wall to test it. You can pull it right off the ceiling, push it with a broomstick or something like that. You can test the smoke alarms that way. But if you do take them down, we recommend these batteries get switched about every 6 months. Typically when we change the clocks for daylight savings time, it's a good time to check your batteries and make sure they work too. Other than the batteries, these are only good for about 10 years, and we want people to replace them and make sure they have fresh detectors every 10 years too. So if it's been more than 10 years since you changed the detector itself, it's time to look at getting new ones. And that's something that we check every month if we can. Now, as for escaping your house if there's a fire, we recommend using a floor plan. Now, you can draw this out. It doesn't necessarily have to be this fancy, but we have one here for our fire station. It shows the first floor, and then it shows the second floor. And what you can do that's a simple activity is draw your house like you were looking down on it from space. Draw the rooms, draw the hallways, the doorways, the windows, and make sure from your bedroom that you have 2 separate ways to get out of your house. So from the bedroom, there'd be a door. You go out into the hallway. Now our way is going to be a little bit different because it's 2 stories, but we want to make sure that you have 2 ways out of every room. There's a window, and then there's a doorway that goes downstairs and comes outside. The reason it's so important to have 2 ways out is if your smoke detector goes off in the middle of the night and you check your door and it's very smoky out in that hallway and it's not safe for you to go, we want you to go to your window and you're going to look out your window for the firefighters, because the firefighters are going to walk all the way around your house and they're going to look at all the windows to make sure that there aren't people still stuck inside. And if there are, that's why we have the ladders and our guys with all of our equipment. We can come up and get you down. What we don't want to have you do is hide in the closet or hide under your bed, because that makes it really hard for the firefighters to find you. And you want to be really easy to find if there's a fire or an emergency in your house. So hopefully that answers your questions today on what we would like you guys to do. If there is a fire in your house, don't wait. Get low and go, because we want you to get out of your house as fast as you can so that we can make sure you're safe.
Okay, get low and go is the lesson for today. So remember to have your safety plan ready. Make sure you know all the exits in your house and possible ways you could get smoke out, like the windows. Mm-hmm. And make sure you have your items, know where they are beforehand. Make sure your smoke detector is working.
That it has batteries in it.
Use any type of flashlight. Personally, for me, I just use my phone flashlight.
Yep.
And is there anything else I've missed, officer? Or?
I don't think so. I think that's the big one. Having that working smoke detector is huge, because you will not wake up to the smell of smoke. So we want to make sure that that smoke detector is there. It's got good batteries and it's making a whole lot of noise if there's a problem. So that's why we want to test it and make sure it works, so that it will wake you up if there's smoke in your house at night.
Okay, well, thank you for the safety lesson.
You're welcome. And thank you guys for coming with us today.